Wakanda Forever.
We will move on and talk about Wakanda Forever. So, Abby, you got to watch it, right?
I did. I did. I saw it in theaters actually yesterday. I was like, oh shit, it's almost Wednesday. Um, and I know you did a video with Nikki, but I didn't watch it yet, so I have no idea what you think. But I kind of have an inkling from what I know
Okay.
about you.
Oh,
But
well, you know what? Let me ask you a little bit. So you went to see it overseas. So, what was the crowd like? Or
okay,
was there a crowd?
honestly, fuck, this is the worst experience because like usually I am at the first showing that they have, the Thursday, like 7 p.m. It's all the freaking nerds. It's like usually a lot of people, but they're all quiet at least because they're into it and they cheer at the right moments. Um, Going a week after it's released, not the best idea. The guy beside me was on his phone half the time. He was scrolling through Instagram while people were dying, and the girls on the other side of me kept on whispering and talking. One of the old guys in front of us had to shush them, so that was not a fun experience at the theater. And weird thing about the UK, they kept the lights on like dimly, so it wasn't pitch black. It was very distracting. That's my little theater rant. Usually, I'm gonna hopefully from now on keep going to the first showing because I usually love the theater experience. This one, not so much. I think I would have maybe enjoyed it sitting at home in my peace and quiet. But you win some, you lose some, I suppose. But I did enjoy
Okay.
the movie.
Oh,
Once I
okay.
tuned out, yeah. And you watched it at home, I assume.
Yes, I did. I'm not ashamed to say that. Because yeah, there was no way that I was going to shell out my hard earned for this movie, especially when I didn't enjoy the original Black Panther that much. Although I have to say that it was definitely a much better movie than this offering.
Yeah.
So we can get into like details and stuff, but like, what did you like about it? Anything in particular? What's up, Jared? What's up, Nikki?
Hey, thanks for joining. Whack on the. I actually did like I have mixed feelings. We might go into spoilers for this, heads up, but
Uh-huh.
it did pull at my heartstrings where it needed to. This is a movie about grief. I cried like 3 times. And then I looked at the guy beside me who was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, okay, never mind. It's just a movie. But no, they did make me feel things. And that was the main, like, okay, this did some stuff, but I think it was going to anyway. But it took you on a process throughout grief and growing and becoming a leader, and I enjoyed that aspect. And while I was watching um, the Wakanda parts, I was very into the whole time. But it's the other stuff that kind of slowed it down for me. There was so much going on that I couldn't get into, like bring myself to care about the new characters. I was like, okay, no, this is Wakanda Forever. Like it's the same thing with Andor. We're like, hey, this is the name, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, but we also have Namor, Ironheart, and you know what? It's the MCU. We got to introduce some people, whatever. But there was just so much going on that it felt like a lot, especially when I was like, no, just give me the emotional moments. So that's a little bit of what I enjoyed and what kind of took me out of it. You know,
So how did you feel about Namor or Kukulkan or whatever the fuck they wanted to call him?
oh my god, I don't know. I didn't care about him that much. I don't know why he didn't have any clothes on. I guess he's a fish, but but like if you're gonna have someone who doesn't have clothes on, at least make him hot. I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what? He's just not my taste. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've been open about the fact that Henry Cavill. Whew,
Mm. Oh yeah.
but yeah, he didn't do anything for me. His acting, his look, he just left me cold. But I do understand that there are some people out there that thought he was on the hot side, and good for you. But um, just as far as the actual character went, I didn't like him.
No, there were moments too where I was like, "Oh, okay." I could tell that they were trying to make me see his perspective and trying to make me like him. But the fact that I could tell that they were trying to do that, not actually convincing me, took me out of it.
Well, again, spoilers. I don't think that they did his character a service by having him kill the queen. Uh,
Yeah,
if he had killed T'Challa in battle, and I actually did make this point in me and Nikki's video, Salty Inferno, guys, check it out if you haven't
oh yeah,
already. But uh, it would have been a better ask for us to care about this character if he had killed T'Challa in battle, because that's more understandable. It's you or the other guy. One of you's gonna die, basically. But with the queen, she wasn't a warrior. She was protecting, somebody that was a visitor in Wakanda from Namor. So I feel like that made him a little bit on the unforgivable, side.
hmm,
At least that's me. Maybe some other people feel differently about that, and also lessens his power as a warrior to me, because he basically
yeah,
killed a non-combatant, who somebody who hadn't done anything to him, basically. So yeah, I think that they did his character a disservice. I think they did T'Challa a disservice, because uh, I didn't like the way that they killed him at the very beginning. Not that he was going to die at the very beginning, because I feel like, yeah, hitting us right away with it and getting it out of the way and moving on with the rest of the story, fine. But the way that it was, oh, well, he's dying of this, mystery disease that we don't know if anybody else has, because they don't mention it. And apparently he hid it until
yeah,
the last moment. But he also hid the fact that, spoilers again, he had a kid. I'm just like, why? Why is T'Challa not trusting of people? That's something they need to, address at some point. Um, so did this feel to you like a movie that was like the natural progression from the last movie, from the very first movie?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because I hadn't thought about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, not particularly, you can definitely feel the impact of real world events. Because I this is never the plan, and this is not how it was supposed to go. I think, I mean, for sure, but you can feel that in the movie, and it just seems very, I don't know, disorganized. And also the fact there's all this background drama and, like, recast T'Challa and all this stuff. Like, there's so much pressure on this movie that you can feel, and I did enjoy it, but it did fall apart in some places for me.
Yeah, this is very much a placeholder movie. It very
Yeah,
much feels like they needed to do something, and this is what they gave us. Along with the fact that, yes, they had been grieving Chadwick Boseman, which I definitely have sympathy for. But not to toot our own horn again, but check out our video, mine and Nikki's, on the Salty Inferno. I go hard at Kevin Feige
oh
because I blame him for the way that this movie turned out. Um, I feel like he should have taken the reins of this, and my understanding is that mostly Victoria Alonso was like heading up this movie. So with the situation being that everybody was upset about Chadwick dying, he should have brought them together and said, "Look, you know, we still need to make this movie. I understand that everybody's grieving, but we're all professionals. They spent $250 million on this movie. It needed to be way better than what it was. The grieving part, helping the audience, so to speak, get past or mourn Chadwick a little bit in the movie. That was kind of expected. But then you still need to do a movie, an entertaining movie after that. It can't
mhm.
just be dependent on the grief process. Everybody handles that stuff differently. But yeah, I fully blame Kevin Feige for the way that this turned out, and I think he needs to be held accountable for it. If you're, especially if you're a fan that does not appreciate what was given to you.
So what do you call him?
Oh yeah, I just saw that on the screen. I call him the head colonizer in charge because
Ooh.
that's a slur that they like to throw out in that movie. And that's the other thing too. I mean, basically the white characters in the movie were basically token characters. So I didn't appreciate that either. I thought Ross was he didn't need to be in the movie at all.
Mm,
Um, and I didn't feel like Val needed to be in this movie at all either.
yeah.
Did you have any particular feelings about that part of the storyline with Val and Ross?
I really didn't care, honestly. It felt like external things to the movie that didn't really matter. Um, but there were a lot of things, with them and in certain scenes where you weren't in Wakanda, where they had these little jokes that felt very new MCU. Like most of them didn't hit for me. Some of them did, but I was just like, oh, he really just had to add the humor in there that is what we're used to now. So I don't know. This movie felt very Phase 4 MCU, which is
Oh
unfortunate,
yes,
you know?
this capped off. I called it Phase Foreskin.
Hey, we're done.
That's what I'm. Yeah, we're done with Phase Foreskin. We can circumcise that motherfucker now. But yeah, what did you? And I'll probably make this my last point, and then we can move on to Andor. But what about Riri? How did you feel about the introduction of her character into this?
Honestly, I didn't care.
Okay.
Okay, she's smart, cool, whatever. She's there. They're trying to protect her. It was a side thing that they didn't make me care about. So maybe that'll happen in the future, but that's not what I was there for?
Right, and apparently she's going to be having a show
Yeah.
on Disney Plus, so that's
That's
something
the
that we
thing.
can look forward to.
You can feel that it's the introduction. That's what's just like, oh, do we need that? Or can we just focus on the movie? The first Black Panther was its own thing, and I really enjoyed that movie. And while I did enjoy this movie while I was watching it, I think upon a second rewatch, I'm going to have some different thoughts because it does feel very Phase 4, new
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like with this movie you're starting to see the cracks in the Marvel formula. I've already seen the cracks. I think some other people may start to see them now.
Yeah,
But yeah, Riri totally feels like we are introducing her here, but she's got a show coming later. And apparently Okoye is supposed to have a show, which I'm totally down for because I think she's an interesting character.
she is, yeah.
That is one thing I will say is those characters from the previous movie. I appreciated them, showing back up. No problem with the performances at all. We needed more Mbaku. We needed overall, just powerful alpha male energy in this movie, and I don't think we got enough of it.
I think we might be getting more Mbaku in the next movie from the ending. So we'll see with that.
Okay. All right. So, anything else that you want to mention? Anything that you liked, didn't like, or anything that you're looking forward to?
Just one other thing that really stuck out for me, particularly in the first half of the movie, there was a lot of slow mo used and like montages, and it was just like a few too many. Where I was like, okay, you didn't need that there. You didn't need to do that. So just there were certain things where I was like, really. But although I am saying the thing is that I didn't enjoy, overall, I think that this is a valiant effort, and the parts about Shuri I did enjoy. Like that was she's not perfect, and they explored that, and they gave her a full arc, and we'll see where it goes from here. So overall, like it was an enjoyable movie, but with some flaws for sure. So not near as good as the first one, but you know, we're out of phase 4, so maybe we'll break the curse on to phase 5. Let's go.
Phase 5, I guess, starts with Quantum Mania in February of next year. We'll see what happens with that
Yeah.
beginning of Phase 5.
Hey, son, see this? This ain't fat. This is all foreskin.